Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time today to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about lands that you can run in your different commander decks. Some of these are like pretty niche, pretty specific, but I figured that this is the place to talk about them. I think we're on part 10. Honestly, who knows? I will figure that out after because that's a lot of things. So anyways, let's just jump into it. So the first card is Uncharted Haven. I actually think I traded for this card. It's not expensive because it's just super pretty. I like it. Gives me kind of like, I don't know. It's pretty. I like it. So when it's the battlefield tapped, and then when it's the battlefield, you can choose a color, and it adds 1 mana of your chosen color. This is for my people who are maybe really color sensitive. Maybe you're playing a deck and you're also on a budget, and it's just, you know, some of those lands are a little bit more on the expensive side, and you're looking for an option. This doesn't have the battlefield tap, so it is just something to know. Yeah. The next card we're going to be talking about is called Crypt of Agadeem. So hold on. You can hear her. She just like climbed up her little, it's not little, it's very large, it's very tall, her little scratching post area. Anyways, very cute. Okay, this card is super cool. I don't remember how I like discovered this card. Maybe I saw one of my friends playing with it. It's, I think, a little bit on the pricey side, but it's really good if you're playing graveyard recursion decks because, or sorry, not graveyard recursion, if you're playing graveyard decks because it's battlefield tapped and you can add 1 black to your pool, or for 2 and tap it, you can add 1 for each black creature in your yard. So if you're playing a deck that's either monocolored or you're playing a deck that is maybe has like a lot of black creatures in it, I would definitely recommend scooping this card and looking into this for that because you can add quite a lot of mana into your pool, which is really cool. It reminds me of, why am I blanking on the, I'm like picturing the art right now, but it's similar, but it's like you add black for each swamp you control or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways. Okay, this card is awesome, and I run this card in I'm trying to think about how many copies of this card I own. I think I own 2 of this card, and that is War Room. If you're playing, I would say 0, 1, maybe even 2 color deck, I would definitely recommend looking into War Room because it draws you cards. You pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's identity. So if you're playing like 0, this is like an auto include for you. It is a couple of dollars, but I would definitely recommend scooping it up because I love lands that like do multiple things because it adds me mana into my pool. So if I'm like in the early game, I don't have the mana yet, or I need to play other things, whatever it is that I'm doing, I can do that. But then if I really, really need it, I'm able to then get me those cards, which I really like. I definitely recommend checking out War Room. It's a good one. Okay, the next card is Plaza of Heros. This is for my legendary folk. So this has like a lot of things on it. So base, it just adds colorless to your pool. You can add 1 mana of any color, but it's only to cast a legendary spell. So I'm thinking like, is it Tahada, the one that's Mardu colors that cares about legendaries? I think that's the one that I'm thinking of. This would be a good inclusion for her. You can add 1 mana of any color among legendary permanents you control. So if you're playing legendaries, this is the card for you because you're able to get any color into your pool. You can also exile this. Target legendary creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So it has that versatility, which I really like. You're able to, at the very least, you're having it have colorless into your pool, but you can have it for your legendaries as well. And then you have that little bit of protection in there as well, which I really like. I think this is a really solid staple if you're playing a lot of legendaries. Okay, these cards are from, I believe, Dominaria United. Yes, these are the typed lands. They do enter the battlefield tapped. There's really not a whole lot to say here, but if you're somebody who really cares about that type being said, so for example, this one says Forest Plains. This art is like really stunning. Oh, hello, Zelda. Making your little appearance. You just want some attention, I guess. Can you settle? Not be on the full frame of the camera. Come on. Settle. Okay. Try to keep her over here. Anyways, so these are really cool because if you really care about that card type, like for example, you are, you're tutoring for a land in your deck and you can grab either a forest or plains and it's non-basic, this is like a card for you. They're also really, really budget friendly and you can get the foils for like under $1, which is really cool. So, okay. The next card is called Shire Terrace. So for me, I'm all about, filtering through my different commander decks so that way I'm able to, you know, get those lands out of there so I'm able to then draw all the cards that I need. And this one is a card that would definitely help you do that. So it adds colors to your pool, like that versatility, and then for one in tap you can sack it to tutor for a basic. You put it on the battlefield tapped. So a little bit on like the slower side, but I think that this card's a good budget card for you. And also if you're looking for ways like fetch lands are just out of your price range, this is a good one option for you. I don't think that this card is very expensive as far as I'm aware. So it's definitely a good like budget one for you. I find that with a lot of cards like this, if you're just like if you want that land filtration, this is a good one. Also, it is a little bit on the slower side, but it's just another one if you're looking for something to go through your deck. So next up we have Minas Tirith. Guys, I've never seen Lord of the Rings. It's on my list. I'm gonna watch it soon. I've never seen it before, so I am so sorry. This is from Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah, that sounds correct. Okay, anyways, I really have no idea. You would think as someone who's like really into fantasy and stuff, I would be into it, but we're gonna get there. Okay, this card is really cool, and I believe I have picked this up in Angels, and if I haven't, I need to. It's either that or it's on my list. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I've picked this up though. This is awesome. So it is the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. If it is tapped, whatever, that's fine. It adds white to your pool. For 2 mana, you can draw a card. Now, you can only activate it if you've attacked with 2 or more creatures. I don't find something like that to be a particularly challenging thing to do. I think if you're playing a bunch of creatures, this is really easy. Very similar to War Room. I like lands that give me the option to draw cards. And we don't have any like penalties for this. We're not losing life or anything like that. This whole cycle of lands I think is really cool. I like this one. Okay, the tri-lands. I'm specifically talking about the ones from Ikoria. These are awesome. If you're not playing with these and you have a couple of dollars to spend, I would definitely recommend picking these tri-lands up because they are so incredibly amazing. There are so many times where I am like shuffling through my deck, I'm looking through because I'm able to get a non-basic land, and this is one of the top cards that I am interested in getting. Or again, it's got that type on there. These do enter the battlefield tapped, which is like, I guess the only downside, but I think then that would be really ridiculous if they didn't. It does have cycling on there too, so if you draw it and you just need to discard that to draw, that's definitely an option for you. But more often than not, I'm playing with these lands so that I am able to get my colors. They are on the pricey side, but they're so worth it if you have a couple extra dollars to spare. And also too, if you're playing like a tricolor deck, you only just need one of them, you know? They're great. Mirrorpool is one of my favorite cards. I run this card in Riku, and let me just tell you, it's ridiculous. If you're playing any sort of thing where, honestly, to be real with you, I don't even think you need to be playing mass like copying spells. I really think if you're not doing that, I think if you're playing it, it's obviously really good. But if you're not, if you're playing just a bunch of instants and sorceries that you'd be like, wow, it'd be really cool if I could do this again, you can do that. So it doesn't tap, and then it adds 1 color to your pool. For 2, you can sack it to copy an instant or sorcery, and then you can choose new targets. So I play this in Riku, and it's really, really insane. Now, you do have to sacrifice it, so if you are playing this with like maybe Graveyard Recursion, that might not be a bad option for you. I personally don't, but you totally could if you wanted to. Like if you're playing Riku, I definitely recommend looking at this card. It also has dropped recently in price, which is really awesome. And then you get to copy your instant sorcery, and you get to choose new targets, which is awesome. Like think about just how good a card like Dig Through Time is, and then think about like Dig Through Timing twice. Absolutely insane. Then for 4 and sack it, for 5 and sack it. Also, I don't know if I said 3 or if I said 2. I apologize. You can put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control. So you're playing those good creatures, and now you're able to put a token onto the battlefield under your control, which is really, really cool. So you get that little bit of versatility. I really like Mirrorpool. I also like it because it's just kind of a fun, like, little threat. Like, you have it out and someone's like, oh my gosh, like, are they gonna pop that off? So the only downside of this card is that it does get sacrificed, but then I think it'd be really busted if you didn't, so. Okay, and the last card for this video is talking about Riptide Laboratory. This card came onto my radar. I don't remember who or how or whatnot, but ever since then, I really enjoy this card a lot because here's the thing, is if you have a wizard's deck, obviously throw it in there. But even if you don't, if your commander is a wizard, run this card because it gives you that bit of protection. So for example, I have this card in my Riku deck. And so I'm able to protect my Riku. Excuse me? She's biting me. She's been super bitey lately and I'm like, you have to relax. Okay, so I use this to protect Riku, which is great. If I have Riku out, like I will not tap this for mana. I will use this in a blue to like, yeah, I will do this so that I'm able to protect my Riku, which is super important to me. I have this on my list to get for Alila as well, even though those decks are 3 colors, and I'm usually not trying to do lands that only add me a colorless to my pool. I do not care. I will run this for Riptide. If you have a wizard as your commander, I definitely recommend it to protect your commander. So guys, that is it for talking about 10 additional lands that you can run in Commander. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, this series. I don't have the next part planned. We've been talking about a lot of different lands, so I don't know when that video is going to be out, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you on my next one.